Hi class, this is part 3 of your strengths curriculum. I just wanted to go over a couple more concepts while you're starting to explore your themes. Sometimes we come into starting to understand these themes with some barriers or some kind of negative connotations that we have around these words, especially when you're given just one word. And I hope that as you dove into the description of those words, you started to understand a little bit better what they really mean. But at the same time, we may have some negative experiences in our life that have caused us to almost suppress these feelings. I've talked with people that maybe have the responsibility theme. And it's one of the ones I admire most and I don't have. But sometimes people have this feeling that their responsibility theme is a little bit negative because it's kind of that almost given that connotation of a taskmaster, somebody that is always trying to get things done in the right way at the right time. And I've heard parents talk about how they see that it play out in their families and almost have this negative nagging connotation. But when they start to unpack it and really see the value in that, they bring the value of saying what you're or doing what you say you're going to do, that dependability. That has so much worth in what somebody can bring to their environment. So I want to unpack some of the typical barrier labels as you start to think about if you have any baggage that might come around these words. So somebody with the theme learner might have been tagged as a bookworm in the past, kind of that nerd feeling of they always have their head in the books. But when you understand the value that somebody with learner has, that they want to absorb as much information and keep learning and growing in things, what a great value that brings to our world. Positivity, people with positivity go around a lot of times very happy and looking at things as the glass half full instead of half empty. That can give that connotation of being a little bit naive, but really it's not. It's this value of thinking of the world in a positive light. And then communication. This one resonates with me because it can be given that connotation of chatterbox. When I first took the assessment, I met with somebody and shared it with him, and he kind of knew a lot about strengths. And so I said, one of my themes is communication. He instantly said, oh yeah, that probably is why people have told you in the past to shut up. And I thought, wow, that hasn't really happened to me, and that's kind of negative. And it really started to make me very critical of my own theme and really start to be concerned about how I was expressing that theme. So I really want you to think about these themes in a positive way and start to reconstruct that definition in your mind with a positive light, because this is all based on positive psychology, and try to brush off the barriers we might have put on ourselves or others might have put on ourselves, because these are something that we may naturally do and people might have seen those, or we might have seen those in a negative way. Start to focus on what really is valuable about these. Now, going into that, we can also look at strengths in a way of raw versus mature talents. So sometimes if we do express our themes, our talents in a more raw form, we might have put those barrier labels, or others have put those barrier labels on us because it's not necessarily in a mature way. And then we also may be able to, as we work on building our strengths and practicing them and using these skills that we've learned, we might start to move that dial over into a more mature way. But I don't see this as once we were using our themes in a raw way and now we put some practice together and we're always using it in a mature way. I find in my own life that I can sometimes bounce between the two in one one same situation. Let me give you an example. If I am sitting in a coaching session with a student, because of my theme of communication and connectedness, I may utilize that time to share my own stories with somebody. If somebody's telling me a story in a coaching session about their own life, I want to build that relationship, right? And like I mentioned in my last video, I'll pull out my connectedness to try to build a connection, and I might share my own story. Well, in a normal conversation, that might be fine, but in a coaching session, it's not about me, it's about that person, right? So if I start talking too much and sharing my own stories, then I'm taking away that value. That would be more of that raw form of it. Then when I move into maybe a little bit more effective listening and start to give them advice or information they need, that's when I'm using my communication in a more mature way. I hope that kind of helps you understand ways that we can use it in a raw way or a mature way. Here's another way to look at it. A raw form of our talents would be a little bit more self-seeking, but a mature use of our talents is more other-focused. Another example, if I'm in a meeting with a group of colleagues and I'm using communication in a raw way, I would probably talk a lot. I usually don't think too much before I speak, and so I might just share my thoughts as they come and dominate the conversation in that team meeting, not necessarily allowing other people to share their ideas as much. But so that would be more self-seeking, right? Because that's where I'm trying to get my ideas heard. And that's the most important thing. If I'm dominating the conversation, I'm showing that it's important for you to hear my ideas, and I don't really care about other people's ideas. But if I was going to use it in a mature way, I may still communicate my ideas, but I'll communicate it in a concise and effective way to get my point across, and then sit back and let other people share their ideas, and maybe use my communication to repeat what somebody else says in a way of, is this what I'm understanding you to say? Or I think that's a great idea. What about this? And really have that dialogue to move that project or that idea forward in a collaborative way or in a way that helps our team or that project. That's more others or not so self-seeking use of my talent. I hope that helps as you're starting to explore how you use these themes, what ways are they showing up in your life, and as you're discovering that, trying to move that dial over into a more near perfect use of that talent. That's why we call it a strength, is when we're really utilizing that in a mature way that's helping others or our projects or our work in being more successful. Again, if you have any thoughts about wanting to receive additional coaching or talk to somebody more about these concepts, please reach out to us. Again, you can reach out to career development at pointloma.edu to ask for coaching. You can reach out to your student success counselor, your professors. We'd love to continue these conversations. I hope these videos were enlightening. I hope the activities helped you to understand a little bit more about how unique you are and the wonderful things that you can contribute, not only in your personal life, but in your work and in your school, that you can utilize these natural God-given talents that you have been blessed with to really become the most successful and the best you. I'll hope that we meet again and I get to hear about your top 5, because it's one of the greatest joys I have is to learn about how wonderful each of you are. But I hope these were helpful, and have a great rest of your week.